How do you seam pattern carpet together? In this video, I'm going to break it down for you. And before I break it down, I'm sure this is the first time you stumbled upon this channel. I told everybody to stop promoting pattern carpet. Nobody's listening in the marketplace. Everybody's buying up pattern carpet. So I gotta keep talking about how to seam it together. So we have a cross seam here. We're gonna fold one side back. Now we don't believe in straight edges in my world because we are super talented human beings and we just freestyle cut them. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my blade and just lob a nice clean edge off of that seam there. Now, the only way that works well is if it's a fresh blade. If that blade is dull, it is going to look horrific. Next, we're going to take that sharp edge that we just put on the one, and we're going to trace it there with our blade going down the other carpet. We're just going to make little baby incisions all the way down, just working our way down with our blade there, playing a little game of trace the seam. Now, I like to cut the carpet down a little bit to make it a little more manageable to work with. Just make a couple of little slits right there, lob that excess off. Okay, everything's good. Let's go ahead and fold back the other piece now and line up all those slits we put in it so we can get another very clean straight edge. I didn't even say in the beginning there. So this is a cross joint, right? When you're doing a pattern carpet, you want to make sure everything is lining up on your pattern or it's going to jump right out at you. So we've already cut the running parts of the seam, got everything lined up, overlapped the cross seam, got it lined up where we need it to be, and now we're cutting that together so everything's going to come together perfect. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? It's not. It's really easy. I'm going to show you another video about how we do the running seams and getting those lined up first. Next, though, we're playing connect the dots with all the little slits we put in the carpet there. I could barely talk. I'm exhausted today. Stick with me here, though. I'll get you to the finish line. We're going to go ahead and finish cutting that off. Boom. Now, if there's any strings, take your time cutting those out. If you pull on them, they're going to run. It's going to make your seam look like a horrific mess, and we don't want that. Now, everything's lined up. We're looking good. Let's get a little seam tape under that so we can get down to business here. So we got our seam tape out. We've already taped the long seam. We got to get a little tape under that cross seam. Just tear off enough so they got enough to cover it, plus a little extra because, hey, why not? We like to buy extra stuff. Now all that's lined up. Everything's good. Where my seam iron at? Oh, there it is. It's right there. Okay, let's get down to burning this bad boy together. Got the seam iron into the shot here. We're going to go ahead and get that under the seam. Let it sit there for, I don't know, good 10 seconds or so. Make sure everything's lined up. The first part of this is key, so pay attention here. Now, got it warming up. Everything's good. We're going to go ahead and slide that iron forward nice and slow. And the reason we're going nice and slow is because you want to make sure the starting point of that cross seam is lined up perfectly. If it's not, your running seam is not going to line up either, and it's just going to be all bad. So now everything's blended in. We're good. Go ahead and give it a little brush. Make sure there's no loose fibers that need to get addressed immediately. Once you know they're good, let's go ahead and get a hold of that iron. Slide it forward a little bit more. Put that seam together, and when you're putting the seam together, just make sure you're not pushing the fibers down into the glue. You want backing to be touching backing and nothing in between, know what I'm saying? So that's how you get a beautiful seam. We're almost there to the finish line. If any hairs sneak through, just give them a little slice with a super sharp blade. Work with that carpet there. Oh, that is so nice. Let's go ahead and give it the swoop action. Swoop it out of there. Throw that back on the tray. Let's go ahead and put that last little bit together. Once again, don't let any of the fibers get down in the glue, and your seam will be invisible. Boom, boom, everything's lined up. Give it a little brush, check for any hairs. Let that go ahead and dry, burn your running seam, and I'll show you how to do that in the next video.